beautiful. It is my great pleasure right now to introduce to you a longtime activist. She's the executive director of the Arcus Foundation, and she is my gal pal of 22 years. We've been living in sin and loving it. Please welcome Urvashi Vaid.
Thank you. Thanks, Kay. Together on this day, from all across this country, we gather to claim the love that law cannot invalidate. We are here to ensure the full civil, political, and moral equality of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people. We're here to ensure that it becomes the law of this nation and a reality across the globe. But you know, our gathering happens in a broader context, one that shapes the outcome of our struggle for LGBT human rights. It is a broader context of malevolence at the heights of power, embodied in the cruel destroyers of the last 8 years who slashed and shredded their way through the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the US Treasury, and now sit rich and tanned on the sidelines, mocking their successors who are cleaning up the mess they left behind. For 28 of the last 40 years since Stonewall, we have lived through their hostility on racial justice, their opposition to gay and lesbian rights, their opposition to women's equality, and their wacky global fantasies of power. And what exactly are we left with in their wake? A set of bromides and lies about family values mouthed by hypocrites who don't live a values-based life. The structural readjustment of our own economy, with millions unemployed and thousands losing their jobs each day so that private companies can be the only beneficiaries of tax breaks and tax dollars. 2 wars that must end, and a more unsafe and polarized world where the US is disrespected. We have endured 2 decades of a fake casino economy that cares little about the human lives with which it gambles. This economy leaves behind a context of fear and insecurity that social justice advocates must address. Fear about the future rules the lives of too many in our country, and it's embodied in the lament we heard this summer, "I want my country back." Well, we want to say to these people, do not blame us. We are not the ones who stole this country from you. But when you've lost your savings, when you've lost your home, you can't get a job, when you have medical bills you can't afford, when your parents are aging and you can't take care of them, when your kids are hungry and you worry about feeding them, you don't care about accuracy. You want to hold someone responsible. And when you are told by the people you trust, religious leaders, media figures, political and civic leaders, that it is the gays who are to blame, it is civil rights that is responsible, it is immigrants who are to blame, it is women's economic power that is to blame, it is the Jews who are to blame, it is the young who are to blame, it is everyone who is not you that is to blame. What are you to believe? In this context, what is the responsibility of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender movement? Well, clearly, we've heard today our role is to dig deeper and fight harder for our rights, and we will. But I think we must be willing to engage an even more profound struggle, the battle for the direction of this country. The mission of the LGBT movement in the 21st century must be the defeat of the right wing culturally and politically. What is the right wing? It's the well-organized, well-funded coalition of groups that seek the restoration of the old racial, economic, gender, and cultural hierarchies. It's groups that oppose gay rights, civil rights, workers' rights, immigrant rights, healthcare reform, economic reform, peace, and so much more. It's the media bullies who defame us every day on the airwaves, threatening our families with the feverish invectives of their narrow minds. It's the well-financed enemies of democracy who threaten violence because we threaten their previously uncontested power. It is the fundamentalists of all religions who deny the godliness in us and blaspheme the names of the gods they claim by promoting intolerance. The right The right wing is bigotry and the politics of resentment in all its forms. And our role in defeating the right wing is central. There can be no lasting justice nor genuine equality for LGBT people until there is an end to the patriarchal ways of thinking, until there is an upending of the old boys club, until there is an end to the same old racial hierarchies. To defeat the right wing culturally and politically, we've just got to do 4 simple things. 1, we must get serious about what the polls tell us. There's a new majority in this country, a new electoral majority of progressive people of all backgrounds, white, black, brown, old, and young, who are fed up with the corruption offered by the right wing. We must march home from here and organize this new majority coalition in every congressional district and win. Second, we must act on the truth of our lives. We're a multi-identity people, and we have to commit firmly and work fiercely for social justice for all people. I'm not just here to stand up as a lesbian. I'm here as a woman. I'm here as an immigrant. I'm here against racism. I'm here for health care for all. I'm here for freedom of expression. I'm here to change the status quo because I believe in America, and I believe in the future of this country. To defeat the right wing culturally and politically, we must be courageous. Courage requires the telling of inconvenient truths, like the fact that violence will not disappear with the stroke of a pen, but with the penance of those religious leaders who have repeatedly set the stage for violent acts to be committed against us. Courage requires a public, daily, loud commitment to LGBT moral and political equality, not a closeted life. Courage requires remembering people with AIDS, remembering people with HIV, remembering that we march for all parts of the community, not just the most powerful or the most visible. And finally, defeating the right wing requires our imaginations. It will take new policy frameworks and inspired thinking. It will take the talents of social entrepreneurs to create a socially responsible capitalism. It will take visionaries who believe we can make a sustainable environment and planet, dreamers and inventors who are innovating to solve poverty and end wars. And it will take the artists who will help us think more bravely. If we do all this, we'll defeat the right wing. The great American poet June Jordan said, "My name is freedom. My name is the name the law cannot invalidate. My name is the one who loves. We are the ones who law cannot invalidate. We are the ones who love our country, and we are the ones who will win it back."